Okay, let me share. Um, I managed to do a quick one. Not the best, but hope it's visible now.
Yes, please. This is the best. Please. Yeah.
So I was to do burnt area mapping, uh, and my case study will be Mount Kenya National Park in Kenya, and let me just give a small brief about maybe Mount Kenya National Park. It's located in the Kenyan Central Highlands. It has an area of around 715 square kilometers. Has been designated as a biosphere reserve from 1978, and then later became a World Heritage Site. It's a very big habitat for wild animals and a very diverse ecosystem. One of the biggest water towers that we have in the country, and very key in tourism for both the national and local economies in the region. Just like what it says up here, come touch the sky. It's the second tallest mountain in Africa, measuring about 5,199 meters. So, and it's a very, very huge area. But recently, as of 2019, there have been various reports of wildfires. Sometimes they're wild, sometimes they are induced. As you can see from some of the reports, uh, marijuana farmers blamed for the fires, the number of acres that have been destroyed. This was just in 2019 alone, and a very huge area was affected. And luckily, we trained at the end during this one of those periods, and that is what rescued or had the fire to subside. These are some of the reports. I'm sure if we go back over time, we have so many reports on this. And so basically using the burnt area mapping notebook, I derived the pre-fire image, which is also called the baseline image. So this is a Sentinel-2 image just before, 3 months before when the fire occurred. So this was January, February, and March. This was around from December. The fire occurred around 27th Feb to March 2019. So as you can see, even from the legend here, basically there was no fire during this period, as you can see from the normalized burn ratio for the baseline period. Then we calculated the post-fire, the image just immediately after the baseline period. This was around March as well, 2019. And you can see from the image, although affected by cloud coverage, we could see some of the areas that had already been burnt up. This was around after around 15 to 20 days. So it didn't take that long for this entire area to get burned. As you can see, after the NVR of the post-fire normalized burn ratio, and from the legend, you can see some of the areas are charred. And then after this, calculated the delta NBR. So the delta NBR is the difference between the pre and post fire and delta NBR. And it will show you, it normally shows the area that is burnt and also shows the fire severity. If you look at the legend, and if I'm not able to zoom in, you can be able to spot some of the areas that are in deep red. So meaning the fires were more severe in some of these sections as compared to some of these sections where the fire was not very severe. As you will note, there are some false positives, the areas that had cloud cover and shadows, although this is, I think, catered for in the subsequent sections. And then after this, there was the thresholding. So thresholding is using a threshold to be able to at least remove some of the false positives and remain the positive areas that are identified as burnt areas. And as you can see from this, the baseline NBR, the post NBR, and then the delta NBR, as well as the images before the fire and after the fire, and the area captured as burnt area. After the shouldering, then we were just able to calculate the area. I had two AOIs, areas of interest. This is what I was able to run using the instance, my account. Then the larger instance, I was unable to do it because I think the area was too big. But Nana was able to run this for me, and at least we can see the total percent or the area in square kilometers that is burned, and the percentage area burned in regard to the entire AOI. So probably now going forward, if we have maybe a bigger AOI, maybe Dr. Mobea will assist us on how maybe you can be able to get a larger instance to run. But basically, so this is the result, and so that was basically a small presentation on burnt area mapping in Mount Kenya forest. I will say it's very, very quick. One of the most important things is you don't have to download imagery and run this using other software. You're able to do and just download the results. If I let me open the notebook here. I just use the notebook and default values as they were, and you're able, at least you see you're able to generate some of these products, and then you can use other softwares to do maybe better maps and better presentation of the results. So I think it was a quick way and very fast way of, if you are tasked to create how much hectares or square kilometers of areas were burned. So I'd say it was very fast and very efficient and very, very, very not time. What can I call it? Not time intensive. Yes. So basically, that was it, and I wish I could I could have done more. Probably, maybe if you have more sessions, we'll still do more. I remember I had mentioned in the WhatsApp group that we had a bigger area. I wanted to do for a bigger area between Kenya and Tanzania in the Serengeti and Masai Mara, but at least the problem is the area was too big. And probably now maybe we'll liaise with Nana and try and run that and see and show the results of that as well. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you very much, Lawrence, from RCMD, giving a very good presentation. And if, Lawrence, if you may share the PPT with us, you can even put it in this chat box, for even if it's in PDF, it will really give us an idea of following up. And also, thank you for showing us what is possible. Thank you so much for your time, and very much once again, good work from RCMD. So thank you everyone for those who've joined us late. Please welcome to our DA live session of today, the 4th of November. God has kept you well and we're working very hard. I can see we have very many participants. Some of you have joined us now. Edward, please greet us and tell us how things are in your city. Edward Boma.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet all of you once again. And Lawrence, great presentation also, which was very, very nice use case. I think what I'd like to say is that I'm looking forward to the other live use cases that you've been able to work on using the notebook. So welcome, everybody, and thank you once again. Over to you, Ken.
Thank you very much. Edward is our technical manager based in Ghana, reporting from Accra. And also I'm joined by my colleague August, virtually somewhere in Europa, in between Europe and Asia. Thank you very much. August, you can greet the guys, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Oz. It's Lawrence. That was a really great presentation. I'm sad about the fire, but that was a really, really clear presentation of everything. So I'm happy to see things like this. Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much, August, connecting from NASA headquarters. Thank you so much, August, for joining us. I'm also joined by David from RCMD. Please greet us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Missed a little bit of the presentation, but I'm fully aware of what Eric was trying to come up with, and looking forward to other presentations as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Stephen Correll, how are you today?
Hello, everybody. As you can see today, I'm joining from a field. I'm not joining from an office. And thank you so much for this session. We keep on learning each and every day.
Thank you very much, Correll, for joining us. And actually, it's your turn to present if you're ready.
Okay, I'm not ready yet. I've been
Okay.
working on this use case. On I'm trying to create a way in which you can be able to help pastoralists. I thought it was a small use case, but come to think of it, going through it, there are a lot of variables because I'm trying to create a use case around Kerio Valley and see how we can be able to help pastoralists, see where they can be able to, in the issues of migration, how they can migrate to areas where there is good pasture and probably water. So I thought it's something that I can do in some few days, but after having a look at it, it's something that needs more input and more knowledge from people from experts in that field. So I'm still consulting here and there, and once I'm ready, I think I'll present the whole project or the use case.
No problem, Corel. We'll be able to follow up with you remotely and bring you up to speed. I know with the team here, all things are possible. So please don't worry. We'll do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So our last speaker was Lawrence Nganga. I wish to go to Kairia to greet the team. Kairia is calling from Zanzibar. I think maybe she's on mute. We're also joined by Henry Buffo from working closely with MOFA. Please, Henry, greet us.
Hi, Kenneth. Greetings once again. It was a great presentation. Good work out there. I've basically joined in this session and hopefully subsequent ones to get a clearer understanding of some of the use cases that they are using the Digital Health Africa platform for, as we look to build more like a smart extension, data-driven extension application for Ghana and for other West African countries based on the GODAN Open Data guideline. And so we've been making use of a few of the data sets from Digital Health Africa platform. We haven't started with the analysis bit, but basically based on the analysis ready nature of the data, we intend to get some intelligent input with regards to farm boundaries. And we are, I would say we are about 40% through. And so appropriately, we'll make a presentation when we make some headway with this assignment. So thank you very much. Welcome everybody also.
Thank you very much, Henry, for that good introduction. I wish to move to Eric Mwala to give us greetings and what they are currently doing with DE Africa. Thank you.
Hello, Ken. Like I said earlier on, I'm actually with Edwin so that we can form some because we are on different schedules and our meeting is not very frequent. So I'll meet him, then we'll try and plan out what we need to present on what we have done so far.
Thank you very much, Eric. I have someone called Marvin Moheno. Please greet us and tell us where you're calling from.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I work with Mr. Henry Buffo. We're working together on the project he talked about. So we'll present our findings when we are through with implementation. Nice to meet all of you.
Thank you very much, Marvin. I have also Abena. Please greet us and tell us where you're calling from.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abena. I also work with Henry, and I was really excited seeing the presentation by Lawrence on the areas that have been burnt, vegetation have been burnt in Kenya. And then we are looking forward to sharing our presentation with you when we are also done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abena. We also have John Goge. Please greet us and tell us where you're currently from. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is John, coming of Kenya, working with the Kenya Forestry Research Institute. And I'm very grateful for the presentation, which has just passed over from Lawrence Nganga, because one of my interests is actually forest fires in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, for joining. And I think with the materials, you'll be able to catch up and we'll be able to help you on the use cases. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have Wallace. Please greet us and tell us how far the progress you've made.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So far, everything is on course. I've been able to get some farmlands measurement, which I'm doing verification of the farms and then getting the crops on those farms. And then we'll use a timeline of from 2015 to 2019, and then compare it with the facts and figures, that's with the production of crops from those fields, and then report on that.
Thank you very much, Wallace. We also have Samusa calling from DLab. Please greet us and tell us how much far you've moved on the DA use cases. Thank you.
Good morning and good evening to everybody. Yeah, my name is Musa from DLab. First of all, I'm visible through Dig2 Earth Africa platform because I've been listening to different presenters presenting their use cases. It seems that everything is possible, and I'm still thinking about different use cases that I can apply after the completion of this course. So far so good. The progress is good. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Musa, for that good presentation, overview of how things are going on your side. So I also have Kelabonge from Botswana. She'll greet us and tell us how much work she has and how she intends to use the DA Africa platform. Welcome, Kela.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelabonge Mfundisi. I'm a research scholar at the University of Botswana, Okavango Research Institute. Yes, my main area of focus is actually looking at all changes that are happening in the physical environment because I'm a research scholar in physical geography. But particularly for the Okavango Delta, we are interested in the changes that are happening in the vegetation and in the extent of water or the coverage of water. Every year we have water that is not originating from Botswana, it's originating from the upper basin in Angola. So every time we have to actually assess and monitor how much extent in terms of the inundation pattern that is happening in the Delta over the years. So in 2011, there was actually a high flood, which actually caused damages to some of the properties along the basin, starting in Namibia, which is across the border from Botswana, because this river that we are sitting on, the Okavango River Basin, is starting from Angola and then passing through Namibia and then Botswana. So in 2011, that flood caused a high impact in terms of damages to properties, like individual properties and government properties in Angola. And also downstream in Botswana, there was also some properties in terms of individual households, properties like houses got damaged, and then the land authority had to actually move some of the people who were inundated by that flood because it was the highest in our memory, in the short history that we've been around. So then our interest is also now looking at that change that happened in 2011 and also looking at the impact that we are experiencing from climate variations and climate change that has been modeled that Southern Africa is going to be hard hit in terms of shortage of water and also in terms of frequency of flooding. So we are now interested on flood mapping and modeling using Earth observation data, like which is actually at a high spatial resolution. Like I told you, we are looking at households, we are looking at government infrastructure, we are also looking at the extent of flooding. So you need accurate data. So if you're looking at Moody's data that have been used, which is good, of course, but the spatial resolution is not good for precise measurements that we are looking at. So that is why the Digital Earth Africa, now it will be handy for us actually to move further than where we've been in terms of spatial resolution. And also in terms of changes in vegetation, because the vegetation is actually a resource that is used by our wildlife, because you know that this is a tourism attraction area, especially for wildlife or nature-based tourism. So we need also to assess and monitor the vegetation. And the Digital Earth Africa will be handy in terms of vegetation monitoring and land cover in general, land cover monitoring. So I think I've talked too much. I'll just end there.
Thank you very much, Kela, for joining us and giving us also an overview of what is happening in the South, which gives us a diversity in this group we are. And I can see David and Eric are so happy. They're coming from RCMD, and Botswana is one of our member states. And I think the Governing Council meeting of 2018 was in Kasane. So bringing guys together, the technology, and using the Africa to make sure no one is left behind. So thank you very much, Kela, for making time and joining us for this call. So any questions so far? I think Edward has been able to post the resources on the training where you can get the training materials for those who've joined us. For some of you, you've been able to develop use cases, and I had apologies from others who were not able to join, but they will join us next time. And also we have new people in the meeting, which is very nice for you to follow up and see the training materials and how fast it is possible to follow up. So any comments, Edward, from your side? So, yes, Edward.
Okay, Ken. So I think thanks for the presentation and also the input from everyone here, which I actually appreciate it also. The training is still ongoing, and if you're able to complete it also on time, you'll be able to also receive your certificate. I think most of you have already received your certificate also. And also all the use cases, for instance, the one that Eric showed, all of them are available on the sandbox. So if you go to the real world problem, most of the use cases are there in which you can just pick it up and tweak it to your area of interest to get the results out of it. And thank you once again for showing up. Okay, so just as Ken is showing, so if you go to the real world, all these are examples that are already being developed. So you can tweak it to your area of interest to get the results. And so you can also go in there, pick some and use it. And during the live session, you can also present to us what you've already done. Okay, thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much, Edward, for that. And also, I think Corella had asked something. I told him all the notebooks are available on GitHub. In case some of them you can just copy and run them from here, it's possible. And also, thank you for bringing the attention of some which you are not able to see from your side, like the geomedian. So we'll be able to see how we can bring it to that point. So all these notebooks are very new, as you can see, giving us an opportunity to work on various use cases. This is borrowed from what we had initially on the DCAL notebooks from the RDC. So we've actually done much more and brought it easier for everyone to start. And for those who are starting, I believe there's a guide where you can look at the various notebooks, basic analysis, including how to load some of the data sets, etc. So all this is very much possible, and this is just an overview of the DEA map Africa. And using this example, you can add some data sets. As you can see, satellite imagery. Let me add Sentinel-2 data on my map. Then since we are joined by people from different areas, I can look for a different country, which is neutral. or which is, we have one participant from there. So this is just giving us an overview of the imagery which is around this area. So you can choose between the various dates, the months, etc., etc., and navigate around, etc., etc. You can also add data on the surface water, where we have our water observations from space. We have annual observations, etc., etc. Give you an overview of what we have for the whole continent in terms of water. And also our team is working on the crop mask for the whole of Africa, and we are happy to work with RCMAD and other partners on the same. And everything that you're working on the DEA Map Africa, you can actually share with your friends, like a small URL, or you can even develop a story map, which is very easy based on your feedback from what we had on the RDC. So this is a very good improvement. And also you can add your own local data from your machine. This is mostly like a shapefile or KML files, etc., etc. Like our colleagues from MOFA, Henry, I think you're working with the API, so you can add like a map service, etc., etc. on your QGIS, etc., etc. So there's actually much more we can do. And this is the link to the training materials where most of us, I believe, you're able to look at, and you'll be able to get your certificates pronto. So Musa, if you finished all the 6 steps, I believe your certificate is coming the end of this week. So don't worry. So in the group, I think we've been joined by Clementina from Sierra Leone Statistics. Please greet us and tell us how the situation is on your side.
Hey, Dr. Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Sorry, I turned in late, but I'm good. I'm glad I could make it. I'm so excited seeing you again. It's been a while. COVID, the COVID situation just separated everything, and then great to have you on screen.
Thank you very much. And very soon the COVID will go and we'll be back to our normal lives. And we can't wait for face-to-face meetings.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah, sure. Definitely looking forward to that.
Thank you so much, Clementina. So as you can see, the group, we are joined by everyone from Africa. And also I think in the coming months, we'll be having everyone, even someone from Cape Verde. So this is a big group of users and a big group of champions. And once you go through the training materials, you'll be able to get a certificate pronto in your inbox. So we've been able to listen to some presentations from Lawrence, who shared something on the burnt area mapping, which was of interest in Mount Kenya. And also it was of interest to my colleague John from the Kenya Forest Service. We are looking at diversity of use cases from agriculture, water, urbanization, forest, mangroves. And Wallace is working on something on some small farms in Tamale or north of Ghana, Upper East. And you'll be able to get more information working closely with the various departments and ministries. Also, we've been able to hear about Kela from Botswana talking about the Okavango research and how they plan to use the Sentinel-2 data from DE Africa on that particular use case. So I think next week we'll be having something from her side. I believe she started looking at the training materials. Stephen Correll is trying to work with some pastoralists in Kerio Valley to get more information about the phenology. Also, Stephen is a very young entrepreneur. He's been able to develop some stories, one looking at vegetation phenology, that is some farming in Western Kenya where they have sugarcane farmers. So that is a story which is developing, and very soon we'll have it somewhere. And also myself and Edward, we've been able to work with most of you in this group, and also we can move you into a WhatsApp group, or even you can WhatsApp us pronto for easier communication and instant feedback. And also the materials that we've developed here, we've developed together with you. And also we have these YouTube videos where we've developed specifically to get specific topics that we can share with you. At least in this time of COVID, if you have some time to look at some videos, you might be able to learn faster and maybe step by step, and we'll be adding more videos. And even some of these videos you explore, it gives you at least an overview of what the products can do for you and how it can make your life very easy. And also Edward is sharing with us a data validation workshop coming on the 12th. Edward, would you like to say something about that workshop, please?
This one I'll leave it to David. David, about the webinar.
Okay, so thank you so much. We all understand how rigorous data has to go through in order to be to have certain sort of confidence. So for this reason, we like to have a webinar that will be detailing some of the most critical points and important areas that we've been looking for in order to come up with some of the products that I think you'll be using them soon. The first one that we've just done is water observation from space. We validated continentally. Then the next one is crop that is coming up, I think, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So for that, we decided to come all of us together from north to the south, all African, to lead this particular activity, to be able to ascertain some of the important aspects that deals with continental data validation. So for that, you are welcome to join. The link has already been shared. If you follow the tweet, there's a small link there that allows you to join and be able to register for this particular activity. It will be on the 12th from 1 p.m. That's GMT time. So anyone interested in learning more about data validation and especially how we end up coming up with some of the products is welcome. Thank you. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you very much, David, for sharing this great opportunity. And the link, once again, will be shared in the chat and also follow up in the WhatsApp for you to join us. So as you can look from this, is a collaborative process. We all need each other in this journey of connecting the space to village, or doing the other way around, where we need to be mapped and communicate what is going around, and also communicate this with various policymakers for action in the various areas that we are in. So thank you very much for having joined us for this far. We've had 2 or 3 presentations, and I wish to welcome anyone with a reaction. So I wish to welcome Lillian Wanyiri calling from Kenya. And you can say something. I think maybe she's having a problem with the audio, so don't worry, we have these challenges here and there. So for those who've joined us for the first meeting, feel very much welcome. Here we're able to share some of the use cases that we have. And if you look at the chat, we have one presentation which was done by Lawrence from RCMAD. Looking also for volunteers for next week's presentation, so that we make your time worthwhile seeing what we are doing. And since we are also waiting on Stephen Corey for his presentation, which is coming soon. So I think mine is to give you a small overview, especially those ones who've joined us today, of how much we can do together, so that we don't leave anyone behind. So here at the just drafted a small presentation giving you an overview of Digital Earth Africa, especially those ones who've joined us today, with the opportunity to help in the SDGs and using Earth observations for development. And the platform is possible for any user, from simple to advanced users. And these are the interfaces that we have. The map view, where we're able to show you how you're able to load the data for the whole continent. We have the map explorer, which gives you the metadata of the data that we have. So currently we have Landsat 5, 7, and 8 for the 5 countries, and we are adding more data soon on the same. Then we have Sentinel-2 for the whole continent, which is available from the beginning of 2017, and we are working with various partners to have Sentinel-2 soon. Also on the products, we have the water observations from space for the whole continent up to December 2019, which is developed by Landsat 8, gives an overview of water observations, which is very useful for policy and also communicating with other sectors, including agriculture. Then we are working closely with partners like RCMAD and others from north to south to develop a crop mask product, which will be very useful for the agricultural zones. So looking at how we can feed this into food security, which is very useful. So all these products will be possible through your support and validation. So some of the use cases that we are looking at, having this group of various experts, looking how we can support agriculture, water, urbanization, forest, etc., etc. So these I just showed you some use cases that we were able to develop with various partners. Here is working with the Ministry of Agriculture, showing the phenology of sample farms. It's very useful. Then the crop mask we are developing with various partners from RCMAD, NADMO, etc., etc. Then this one is an assessment of the extent of water in the Lake Baringo, which I believe David from RCMAD presented something on Lake Nakuru last week, which was very nice to see how you can use this to get more information and how we can communicate with policymakers. Then on the same on the water quality from space. Then also we had the same for Lake Nakuru, which was presented by David. The same on the lake water. Then another interesting example is on urbanization. We have these notebooks in the sandbox that you can use to develop something fast for policy, any city, Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, Ghana, Accra, we're looking at Freetown. So you can develop some of this very, very fast within, I think, less than 5 minutes. You have something that you can present and also communicate to, even to the high level of a minister to have his attention and how we can use the resources effectively for better planning. We also have this for coastal change. 2 weeks ago, Kairia from Zanzibar was able to present the same on how she's doing this for north of Zanzibar in terms of coastal change, mapping the change over time. So we have a notebook which can do this in a few seconds. So there's also the possibility of monitoring deforestation, a very, very, very hot topic which is there currently based on different agendas. So we have some notebooks where you can generate and get the extent from deforestation to afforestation activities, and you can export the products as a GeoTIFF in your QGIS or ArcGIS software to visualize any maps for communication and for presentation with various partners. So also there are our contacts for Edward Boma and myself. Our emails are there, and of course you have our WhatsApp numbers, and this is some of the channels that we can get support. So this was just more of a welcome for those who've joined us today, so that we don't leave anyone behind and move together. So I believe I have some volunteers for next week for presentation. I think I have Stephen Correll, Wallace will be ready. Keria, you'll be adding your use case for maybe Pemba. Any other volunteers? I think David will be doing something for Somalia or Djibouti.
Yeah, sure. We never miss a use case. So definitely there's something that we are trying to work to concretize whatever we had started with Edward. That's what we are trying to see if we'll have time. Then I think it will be something for next week.
Oh, thank you very much, David from RCMAD, our champion. Be one of our training centers. Thank you so much. So any other comments before we call it end or we adjourn, so that we don't take much of your time? And we meet again next week after we've looked at the training materials and also come up with some use cases. In the meantime, you can reach out to us. At least you have our WhatsApp numbers. So I think the silence means we had a very good session, and also thank you very much for making the time from your busy schedule to join us for this session. And we're looking forward to hear from you next week based on your presentations and also an overview of the training materials. We'll be able to hear more feedback from you. So I'm very grateful for your time. Wallace, do you have anything for us, or you pray for us as we part?